the general soft news from the solo video journalists.
Oh, I see the difference. Okay, I didn't see that earlier. Thank you for that heads up earlier, Sean.
After 10 people were killed at a Boulder, Colorado grocery store, a unique tribute formed in the middle of a Boulder Creek, honoring those victims.
In times of tragedy, many look for places to escape, places to tune out the noise and reflect on what has happened.
This is a place that I've grown to love over the years.
For Michael Grab, that place is Boulder Creek, which runs through the heart of this heartbroken community.
Yeah, it's just a very meditative spot. It's quite quiet compared to most places of the creek.
But Grab's form of meditation might be a bit different from yours.
It wants to tip that way, so I gotta adjust it.
Using just his bare hands, Grab has been building statues with boulders.
The hard part about this is getting it so tall.
Using gravity as his glue to create 10 incredible structures, honoring the 10 people who were killed.
I didn't expect towers of rocks to feel so alive.
Lisa Fairman stumbled upon the memorial on Wednesday.
And I thought I would stay for maybe 10, 15 minutes and wound up clearing my day and staying for 5 hours. I felt completely present and comfortable, and my mind was actually quiet. And I can't remember the last time that that's happened.
Grab says he likes to call these creations boulderites.
It was the obvious thing to do, to like build 10 boulderites to kind of honor the loss of life that happened.
And while each rock on its own is difficult to break, these precarious creations are quite fragile.
Which is why it needs to be kind of balanced perfectly.
The structures may last just a few days, but some say that impermanence makes this even more powerful.
So they're all coming together, and they're all going back to the river together. And I think there's something we can take solace in that.
In Boulder, Evan Krugel, Fox 31.
After learning he may not have a seat on the school bus due to staffing shortages, a Colorado boy decided to find an alternate form of transportation to school.
Across Colorado, a shortage of bus drivers is putting parents like Jason Smith in a bind.
So we've been on kind of a standby.
The Summit County family entering the school year unsure if 12-year-old Josh would have a ride to class.
Beginning of the year, we didn't know if Josh was going to have a seat on the bus.
So when it came time for school to start,
Yeah, I'll get the back.
the 7th grader had a plan.
There we go.
Why rely on the wheels of the bus when the shortest distance from home to school doesn't involve a road at all?
I noticed that the school is like right on the lake, so I thought it would be really easy to just kayak on over there.
So on a cool September morning,
Okay, push me off.
he set off.
I was nervous when I started to go out a little bit more, and I noticed like how vast it was and how far away I was from land.
But Josh never looked back, paddling across the entire lake, a distance of about 3 miles, even stopping to explore an island on the way.
So instead of taking a shortcut, I took a long cut.
His dad admits he kept tabs on Josh from overlooks like this one and was relieved to finally see that bright kayak parked outside of the school.
The easy answer would have been, no, let me just drive you to school. If you can't get on the bus, we'll drive you to school, no problem. But I got a 12-year-old who wants to take a chance, wants to be adventurous, wants to do something that probably none of his buddies would do. And how can I say no to that?
Now that the weather is starting to cool, he says these trips will soon end. But plans are already forming for another adventure when the snow starts to fly.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and Nordic ski to school on the frozen lake.
Big plans for a 12-year-old full of adventure.
Yeah, for sure.
In Summit County,
One of those cool moments.
Evan Krugel, Fox 31.
I did so many stories about lions in 2021. countless lines for food, vaccines, and tests. I really needed to get to know the people involved in these lines to make the stories matter and hit home.
How are you today?
Paul Donnelly may have found his calling.
Good puppy. Hi, baby.
It's not the dog in this car, it's the food he's putting inside.
There we go, boss. This is Feeding San Diego.
Dozens of volunteers are here outside Pechanga Arena for people who simply need help.
Have a great day.
Help with their hatchback, too.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Paul's got it.
Whoa, I like her style. It makes me feel good. A lot better about myself, build some self-esteem and some self-worth. Have a great day.
And Paul is making them feel loved.
The community's wonderful. Good morning, sir.
Many of the people in line are active duty military.
I'm kind of saddened that people have to come in America in a food line in this situation.
I think most people assume that that would never happen to someone that's serving our country.
Elise Fernebach is the chairwoman for the Veterans Village of San Diego, an organization that helps veterans overcome homelessness and addiction.
You get the number, I got the ticket.
Paul is one of her clients.
Yeah, I'm a combat vet, Vietnam, Brown Water Navy, riverboats.
All these volunteers are veterans who at one time needed help too.
All of our buddies, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. We don't have no space guys yet, but
It strengthens the ties of humanity.
Especially cool to see veterans helping other veterans and other active military.
Sam Duke helped organize Thursday's Feeding San Diego event.
This one cool? It's emotional for me. It's powerful.
The power of seeing good people pay it forward.
it makes me feel part of the community. Bye, babies. Bye-bye. You the baby.
It's his way to compete, and Leo is one of the best in the world at what he does.
With every type, every press, Leo DeSantis is practicing for an international competition.
So I started in first grade, and then I was a finalist in second grade, fourth grade, and now I'm a finalist this year in fifth grade.
The competition is the Braille Challenge. It's about honing reading and writing skills. Right now, Leo's practicing the speed and accuracy section.
Activities to do, period, capital.
There's also reading comprehension, proofreading, and a section with graphs.
Yeah, it's a completely different language without being its own language. That's a good way to phrase it.
Something Leo is able to compete in easily. But since he was 5 months old,
yes,
Leo's mom says most things haven't been easy.
So Leo, when he was 5 months old, was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer.
It was something called retinoblastoma.
We're always having to make adaptations. I mean, it's always, anything is possible, but it may have to be modified or it may have to have adaptations. The Braille Challenge is something that, by design, is for this population of kids. And there just are not, there are very few things that are like that.
So Leo's competed for the last 5 years now. He was a finalist in 3 of those.
And it's across the United States, Canada, some people from overseas.
Top 10 in his age group. An international competition created for people just like Leo.
It's really irreplaceable. I mean, we just don't find that very much in our regular life.
Yeah, I'll probably do it as long as I can do it.
In Austin, I'm Hank Cavanero.
Okay, I finished this page.
A small town radio station in its annual attempt to put a little more Christmas spirit in the air.
It's the smallest of radio stations just a few miles from the Oklahoma border.
Absolutely a bunch of birthdays today.
But again, in Gainesville, it is a very big deal.
Celebrating another year of marital bliss.
And this year, after the birthdays and anniversaries.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Take a deep breath.
it got even bigger.
Hello, KGAF on the air with you. Hi, who's this?
They started calling their listeners, ones who'd sent them heartfelt letters.
It's been a really rough year.
Wow.
Problems like cancer and COVID.
I'm on 12 different medications.
And houses that have burned down.
And I've just been struggling paycheck to paycheck, and I just can't keep up.
And then gave each one of them.
How would $1,000 do?
1,000? Oh my God, that's gonna help us.
40 people.
Thank you very much.
$40,000 cash in all.
Thank you so much. Y'all are amazing. You guys are just wonderful. You just don't realize what a wonderful thing you're doing. I've cried the whole show, though.
That last voice was Glenda Hack.
Thanks. We'll see you in about an hour.
Her husband suffering from a brain tumor.
We'll be married 58 years next month.
And that hour later, she was in the parking lot with 39 other lucky people, too.
It means a lot, and I hope someday to be able to pay it forward. I really do, because I've been blessed today.
Patty knew blessed as well. She's the one who called about the 12 medications needed to keep her alive. Now, she can afford something else. What do you think of this?
Well, don't you think it's great? What do you think of it?
Well,
No, it's just outstanding, isn't it?
To know that you're changing people's lives, even just for a very short period of time, is an overwhelming thing, and I'll never get tired of that.
The money comes from anonymous donors who ask each year for the radio station to find the Cook County residents most in need. This year, KGAF found 40 more, who even on a cloudy North Texas day, now have a brighter holiday in hand.
Merry Christmas.
In Gainesville, I'm Kevin Reese.
A lot of emotion there.
A daughter fears she is the only one honoring her dad's military service. She finds out otherwise in a very big way.
How are you? He said.
The house in Frisco is easy to find.
He asked you how you are.
It's the only one celebrating a 100th birthday.
How are you?
I'm all right.
Bernie Suter's birthday.
What's it like being 100 years old?
100.
Yes, you're 100. What is it like? You said I'm an old
fart.
But Burnett Bernie Suter is so much more than that. A World War II veteran, a machine gun-toting soldier his buddies called Smiley, who stormed Utah Beach on D-Day and helped liberate a concentration camp near the Czechoslovakian border.
Do you remember where you went to fight World War II?
The problem, at 100.
Did you land on a beach?
Yeah.
In Normandy?
Bernie's memories.
Utah?
Are beginning to fade.
Utah Beach.
Yeah. I tell people who want to talk to him that I'm his memory now. Sorry.
Sandy Suter Richards is his only child.
He's been my hero for a long time, and because I've known his story for a long time. I just think somebody has to keep the story going.
And on a Saturday morning,
That is awesome.
reinforcements arrived
Isn't that cool?
to help her keep telling that story.
Oh, thank you, Cheryl.
A 100-car parade, some vintage, some World War II, and even a golf cart or two. Outside Saddlebrook Memory Care in Frisco, where Bernie lives.
I love you, Pop.
Even a Cessna overhead,
Oh, the plane up there, Bernie, look.
towing a Happy Birthday Bernie banner.
He's told me many, many stories.
And for a devoted daughter,
he's trying to keep as much of his memory alive as possible.
a captive audience to keep telling all those stories to anyone who'd listen.
I am just extremely proud of him, even though, you know, he's not always in the moment anymore, but I am, and our family is. We need to pass that along to our children, what these people were able to do to save our freedoms that we have today. Bernie, I don't know you, but I wish I did.
And back at home in a basket in her backyard.
To Bernie, happy 100th birthday.
More evidence for a daughter that Bernie's stories are still very much alive.
How cool is this?
Hundreds of cards for his 100th birthday from all over the world.
Thank you for your service and protecting our country. Thank you so much. Thank you.
The message in all this from a daughter is that we all eventually become the keepers of our parents' memories. But when it comes to her dad, Bernie Suter,
I have to say, I thought I was the only one tooting the horn for a long time.
She learned on a sunny Saturday morning in Frisco that she'll never be tooting that horn alone.
Now I see there are a lot of others out there.
In Frisco, I'm Kevin Reese.
Thanks, Lisa.
This was a quick hustle. More than 60 World War II veterans headed to Hawaii for the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. It honors the vets and their stories, showing how grateful the community is for their service.
It takes a troop to unload this many wheelchairs, to coordinate and escort buses, to make the day so special for 63 World War II veterans.
Yes!
Excited!
On Friday at DFW International Airport, they checked in for a charter flight to Hawaii, the place where 80 years ago, each of their lives changed.
I was 21.
Lieutenant Commander Cass Phillips is a Pearl Harbor survivor.
See my hat?
Oh, I see it.
He's lived 101 years. A lot has happened in a century, but nothing like December 7th, 1941.
I spent quite a bit of time out there.
This Navy veteran is ready to go back.
Pearl Harbor means a lot.
For others like John Pildner,
If I could do it again, I would.
it meant being drafted to the Army out of high school.
When I got out, I wasn't old enough to vote.
Wilbur Myers, also Army.
Went into France, went to Holland, and the Battle of the Bulge in Germany, and the whole 9 yards.
He's grateful for the patriotic parade all the way to the gate at Terminal D.
They have never forgotten how important freedom is.
Thank you, Freeman.
Each veteran felt the unwavering support.
Hell yeah, brother! Woo!
This retired Navy chief just got off deployment in Japan and landed.
Happy to be here, saw the flags and wanted to join in.
I survived 9 days.
98-year-old Fred Harvey, an Iwo Jima survivor, is taking off with one goal:
Find his grave and place flowers to it.
to visit his late captain.
A great captain.
And for Walter Lebetsky, this flight to Honolulu is full circle.
Means a lot.
He has not been back to Hawaii since he left in 1946.
His daughter, American Airlines pilot Nancy Woodkey, is flying the plane and joining him at Pearl Harbor.
It's something I just would have never imagined, and it's very exciting. I'm very honored.
There are a lot of stories from World War II. The painful memories are a symbol of sacrifice and freedom. And that's something to always celebrate. At DFW International Airport, I'm Tiffany Liu.
Okay. What say you, wonderful judges?
I'll start with the stories that I liked or remember. The radio one, the Christmas giveaway money, and oh my gosh, what was that? The kid on the lake, which I remember it. I think I started to like it. But then we didn't have a reaction from the school. We didn't have a neighborhood reaction. And as a dad, I don't know if I'd let my 17-year-old cross that lake without me with him.
Never.
But that's a different part of the story.
Never.
I'm just thinking that was a big, big piece of water. I wish I'd go back and look and see if he had a life vest on.
He did. It wouldn't help
okay,
him.
good.
It's freezing. It's like it's in the mountains. It's freezing.
Yeah. But anyway, I just remember it was a great reveal, and yeah. But the radio thing, I wish they could have carried the opening out somewhere in the middle and the end, something like that type of editing from the top, because it was awesome and it sucked me in with the gasping and the And those are the best sound bites. They tell you so much. And I wish but those are the two stories that stand out the most for me.
I agree with you on the radio thing. It had me in the beginning, but then it lost me later. And especially like the money shot where she's holding that is like so, I'm gonna use the no word, that's so staged. It just turned me off from that. Like the beginning 30 seconds of that piece really like, oh, this is good, it's just great. And then it lost me. I think my favorite looking back is the Boulder piece. I mean, it had a lot of it had lots of beautiful nat sound. It was beautifully shot. It had purpose. It had action reaction balance. I mean, it's just, but I will also say that I am biased in that, in probably with that story. Because I've covered so many mass shootings that to me, this is an interesting way to tell the story of a community healing that's so different than going in front of, the name crosses and the makeshift memorial thing. Like, I mean, the number of times I've done it is too many. And so that's, I have a bias in that, right? So I looked at that story, I connected with what the woman said, right? Like I had personal feelings about it. So if you guys didn't, then that means the story to you did not do the job that it was supposed to do. But I think emotionally and technically, that story really worked for me.
I'll jump on that. One more thing is I heard the rock sound, the clunk clunk, and then I heard it 800 more times. The exact same, yeah. But at least I heard it once, and I didn't necessarily get that in a lot of the stories we've seen today. That subtle little sound was an extra nice touch.
I like the kayak, the no school bus, no problem the most. Would agree that does seem to be some parts of the story missing, but just in what we have and what was edited, I like the reveal. I thought was edited very well. Agree with everyone else that it's just outstanding. Is a very strong start and then kind of didn't hold. Thought the Boulder, the beginning was just odd to me because I was expecting the story to be about the woman that we're seeing, and then this other guy comes in. But I don't know. I definitely felt something on the last one, but I don't know. I recognize the parade element. Parade element to it.
The kayak one to me was a little odd, just because it just felt staged. Of hey, I'm going to show up and I just want you to get a shot of you kayaking, and I'm going to interview you. So it felt a little staged to me versus hey, when do you kayak to school? I'll be there an hour earlier. Let's set it up. But that's kind of on the storytelling side. The editing didn't really stand out to me that much. But as far as on the editing, what I liked was the radio out of all of them. I thought that was good. I would have liked to see more interaction with the community whenever he was mic'd up. I think that there may have been like one shot in there, but I think that would have been, kind of help draw me in a little bit more. But that was probably my number one. And then tooting his horn, that wasn't too bad. I'd like the tooting his own horn. I thought that was pretty cute as well.
We are nowhere close together on this.
No.
Wow. Wow.
Well, it sounds like we all agree that it's just outstanding will be placing. That's the radio.
Shooting his own horn. Is that the old man who doesn't remember?
Yes.
Okay. Well, as the editing in that one was nice, and not in an insulting way. I guess for me, I felt like we just jumped into it. Hi, here's my dad. He's old. He doesn't remember anything, and that's what I felt like they did to me. I will admit, and I think you mentioned it too, is that the transition from today to yesteryear was exactly what you're supposed to do there, and it was executed relatively nicely. So that was really nice. The what threw me was we ended with the letter writing campaign where everyone sent him a card, which would have told me off the top, this guy is someone everyone would love and you should love him too, and here's why, which would have set me up. So I felt they had the setup towards the end of the piece. So that kind of threw me, but I can't blame the editor for that. But it was nicely edited.
But I agree with you.
This is Solo. Just
Yeah, he's an MJ, so you totally should blame the editor for this. He's an MJ.
Yeah, then that's the one. Then thank you for saying that. Yeah, then that sucks. Because the letter writing and the reading, to me as a storyteller, you give me someone reading a note, that's always powerful because they're reliving the emotion when they read it the first time. It means something to them, and you're hearing that. And that would have, there's that crack in her voice because these people are talking about her dad. So yeah, thanks for bringing it up. It's a Solo video. That would have just,
I agree with you.
I would have cared more about the man. Yeah.
Right. The way that it was set up, like to me, it felt like he shot the 100 letters. So he's like, oh, I'm gonna use it. I could have left without it. If it weren't at the top where you said it should belong, to set us up, it was like one of those, we've all done it, right? Oh, I shot this. Oh, I guess I should use it. It's a nice layer. Let me drop it in and see how it feels. Oh, okay.
Right.
I'm not saying that he did that. I mean, he's obviously, he's a multi-award winner. He's very intentional, I'm sure, but I just, it felt out of place. I don't know. I love old people. I love people who, fought in the war. I mean, I love all, like, emotionally, but it even.
And the older I get, the more I love them.
I don't love how it feels to be old. Maybe I'm concerned about the kid in the kayak because I feel like I would be the kid in the kayak going straight down to the bottom. But anyway, I only like half of the radio story. So if everybody feels that the radio story is the most solid edit, I will go with you guys because I only like I like 50% of it. I'm such not a huge fan of the setup shots, unless the setup shot is an intentional thing that you are weaving throughout, like the holding of the money thing. I'm sorry, I'm stuck there. Like I've done it, but it is intentional and it's kind of throughout, and it feels like it belongs in a piece where you are interviewing people face to face, and so then you show and it's a slow motion and they're holding whatever. I'm sure I'm hoping you know how I'm describing it. Anyway, the first part of it was perfectly fine.
I think towards the end, at the end of one of the shots, you can hear him say on the nets, like, oh, thank you, like as he's like done getting the shot, where I wish it was him saying, even if he included himself, like, hey, show me what you've got or something, and she fans the money out, that would work.
Yeah, because nobody does that. I mean,
right.
in a rap video, you might see them fanning the money, but it's just, yeah, thank you. It not there. I don't know. If you guys, again, you like 50% of the story, I'll go with you.
I like kayak the best, but I don't know. These are getting challenging to separate.
Yeah, I almost feel like I should enter next year.
To show them how it's done.
Yeah, and so you guys can just destroy me too.
Oh yeah, It looks easy from the outside, huh?
Oh, it's way easier to critique than it is to
I'm
do.
definitely saying no next year.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh no, I'll do this.
Not that you're gonna come back and ask, there's no guarantees. I
So
can't be with you on the kayak, Aaron. I would like to join Aaron in the kayak and have him save me. I can't do this one with you. I'm sorry.
man, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if I have a first place after the discussion.
Okay, how about this? We know that I am an outlier with my number one. So Aaron, your number one is the kayak. Anthony, what is your number one?
I really don't have one, so I can be swayed.
Oh, that's not helpful.
I'm sorry.
The radio, but as we're talking, it's just all of them have something that I'm not like in on, like the kayak one, it just seemed like it was just really set up and staged. There are some of that is set up inside the radio one as well. The first one, the Boulder one, the shot of the woman at the very beginning just felt kind of random to me. And it kind of threw me at the very beginning. So I'm kind of all over the place right now.
Do we have to play somebody, Sean?
Yeah, I mean, I would encourage you to play something because
Well, here's a story that we brought up, but we didn't talk much about, and it's the I think it was the Pearl Harbor thing. It was edited relatively flawlessly, meaning nothing jumped out at me as bad. The audio was seamless. I didn't hear the edits unless it was meant. Everything there seemed to be on purpose. Now, granted, there was no central character, but if I'm going to look at everything as an edit, that technically is probably the cleanest.
I like that story. It's more than tooting his horn. I'll say that.
Okay. I don't think I'm not her lawyer, but Tiffany Liu is a MMJ. I don't know if she shot this by herself. Based on the description that we got, they got like this information way too late. Knowing her, I know that she would have built it around a character. I'm guessing if I were her, I would build it around like a freaking female pilot. How often do you see that, flying her dad back to a place where he hasn't been in whatever number of years? I mean, that's an obvious one for me. I don't think that she had that opportunity. I feel like based on the description we got off the top that like they found out about it and rushed to do it. So this is sort of like, if you're rushed to do something, this is the best you're going to get. So then we can take the storytelling off the table for this one, which I don't really have a problem with understanding the challenges. And if we go with your technical ability, so if we judge it on technical ability alone, and if nothing else stands out to anyone else, maybe that's the first place.
Anastasia, just a moment for your comment. You're basically describing every general news story ever,
right?
Which is this category.
Yes. However, as you know, when you show up at the freaking airport, you have a really, the window is tighter, right? And you don't have an opportunity. Like you have all of these people, and if they're boarding a freaking plane, there is that window to find someone after talking to someone to build around them as they're being pushed is much more difficult if you're doing it, I don't know, going to a radio station. I think to me, the circumstances of that are more, it's just a faster paced developing situation than being able to spend 15 minutes figuring out who is who and where they're going.
Well, I guess what I would say to that is just the great John Larson once said, just because you shot it doesn't mean you use it. So,
Yeah.
you know, and they shot a lot of people. So, I don't know. Now, granted, she may have shown up at 2:00 and been on something. I mean, you know, it's general news. You get yanked, your chain gets yanked, and that story fails. And at 4:00, you're going to the airport. Oh yeah, by the way, I need a VOSOT at 5, and you're live at 5:30 with a package, and that's what you get. So, and it would have been great to have known that in the write-up. So, I mean, like I said, it's a strong edit. It really is a strong edit. So,
let's judge it on that. Because nothing else stands out. Everything else has issues for all of you guys.
We poked apart, and I don't see anybody else of our comments really. Well, let's see. Aaron said something like second to last cut was it weird?
Yeah, unless I don't know, something weird happened at the end there.
So to me, and that's the reason I wrote this is the parade piece, because it was still strong, but there was no focus. That's the reason I wrote it. So,
but it didn't rub us the way the parade piece did, right? Because the parade reporter did all kinds of despicable things.
Right. So since we have there's so many flaws with the other ones, this one stands out as the cleanest. I mean, it's clean, so I wouldn't say it's the cleanest. It's clean, where the other ones have some flaws. I would be okay with saying that this might be number one. If I have to go number one, maybe this one.
What are the flaws with the kayak?
The staging.
But we're assuming that it could have been done in the morning.
If it wasn't staged, then
there's no way he could
have seen him show up at the school. And someone, his mom or his dad or your partner or your wife could have been over there waiting with your cell phone, having him pull up to the school in it. Somebody has video of that.
I just don't want to assume that it is.
I know, but that's the money. That's the money shot. It's like doing a school bus story that's overcrowded and not having a school bus overcrowded. You can't show that.
Like him showing up at school, like him parking his kayak and showing up at school. That's the last shot.
That's the money shot.
Go on and get a school reaction. Yeah. Oh.
Just him, going out there in the lake, to me, I mean, that's the money shot on that one. So, I mean, granted, he probably went over there after school because he works nights and he was already there for the day and he didn't have any other story ideas, all the excuses we can always come up with. But I think that I don't have the money shot.
Maybe the other way to look at it is the payoff for the story is him arriving at the school, and we don't have the story paying off. The story is about him getting to school, and we don't have that.
Right.
So I feel like it's missing a key element.
And I never saw where the school was on the lake. Now, if this guy was using a cell phone, I was never going to see this because he can't zoom in that tight. But but I never saw the school on the lake.
So back to the parade piece we go. So we've taken your kayak piece apart, Aaron. Are you satisfied with our criticisms? Do you want any more?
But remember, I said that was one of the stories I liked in the beginning.
No, I think you guys make a really good comment. Or yeah, that makes sense. This is tough.
This is hard.
I think the radio story, I feel like that deserves to place amongst these, but I definitely feel like it wasn't strong the whole way through.
Would you be satisfied if it's an honorable mention?
Yeah, I feel like
you can have it as number 2. I
feel like it's a notch above some of the other ones.
So it sounds like we're somewhere along Pearl Harbor's first, just outstanding isn't second, and then, are you, Aaron? Are you still Dylan Lake boy?
I mean, I'm definitely team kayak, but I'm in the minority.
Anybody
And
else?
the kayak. He is
Basically,
doing
I
this
wanna
for the
come.
boy. He's in it. He's in it.
I say it's an honorable mention. The
Not a
kayak.
third?
No school bus. If I'm going to go third, I think where's the old guy who couldn't remember anything? That would be a third.
Tooting his horn?
In my
What everyone else say?
except the
I'm fine with it.
I didn't like one. I just honestly felt nothing. I don't know if that says something about me or the storytelling, but it was driving me nuts that the multicam interviews weren't color graded together, which can be difficult sometimes, but it was like quite different on the grandpa.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? Okay, then I'm that's solid.
Pitch that, yeah.
Now that you say it, it's like coming back in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, that didn't happen. So yeah, we can drop that and make school bus third, or we can just go straight honorable mention.
Wait, what are you making?
Okay, Pearl Harbor first. It's just outstanding.
Second.
It's second, and then, and I'm looking to the floor to see if kayak is third or honorable mention, and dropping Tootin.
I mean, I would be third. I'm cool with that. Boulder HM.
I'm indifferent, but
the
I'm
only
okay with
issue
it.
I had was the opening sequence.
So now you're talking about Boulderites as HM?
I would like to acknowledge that story. I think it was nicely done. I mean, it had every element.
So are all judges in agreement with the first, second in the list that we have there?
Yes.
First, second, third, and honorable. Yes.
Okay. All right. You guys want to take a little 5-minute smoke break?
Just to be clear, because I don't see what you're seeing. I have the picture thing.
First place is Pearl Harbor means a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Second place is just an outstanding, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Third place, no school bus, no problems. And honorable mention, the 10 Boulderites.
Perfect. Okay, that's what I have in picture now.
And I do have a question. Is the University of Georgia going to write up something on how judges can hound on two stories and then go completely away from them on a story they've not talked about in 20 minutes and it becomes first place? Because that's what just happened.
Are we losing it?
That's exactly what just happened.
I think you just get, I mean, all judges do this. They get wrapped up on a conversation on one or two, and then they have an issue, and then the issue just has a conversation on its own for like 5 minutes, and then you just forget about something. I've seen this many times.
Okay.